Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to the Formula CDM European Series. Welcome to round 3 from the delightful Circuit Zolder in Belgium, just outside of Brussels, for the third round of the championship. It's going to be an absolute corker here tonight. Not really a circuit that suits Formula cars with its big curbs and its start-stop nature, but it's going to be a very, very exciting night of racing. I'm Chaz Draycott, delighted to be joined once again in the commentary box by Ed May. Ed, we've had a really solid start to the championship, an interesting time out at Manicourt last time. Should be a good one this, though. It's quite the contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be, and it's great to be back here at Zolder. It's a circuit that I think, for me and potentially for you as well, Chaz, we've spent the most time in the comms box around with the virtual car, doing multiple 24-hour races around here. I once did a 12-hour stint non-stop.
Yeah,
I'll be sick of it by now, but I tell you what, I love seeing this circuit. It always brings a smile to my face. It's such a demanding circuit. It's got a little bit of everything: high-speed sweepers, slow hairpin, quick direction change as well through the multiple chicanes that we have here at this circuit. It really does demand a lot of the drivers, and we know that, well, from experience, mistakes are very harshly punished here in terms of both the off-track, the slowdown penalties, but also just how vicious the curbs are.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is a nasty, nasty place if you are not paying enough attention. This is how the championship calendar is for this season. A lovely tour around Europe. Started in Navarra in Spain. We were at Manicourt just last week, and right now we are here in Belgium, and next week we go to Zandvoort in the Netherlands, which will be a really good race. I'm very excited for that one. Hockenheim in Germany, followed by the Hungaroring in Hungary, and then we move over to the Red Bull Ring and Imola to complete the season. This is how the championship points look, and a little full disclosure moment at present. We're having a bit of a difficulty with the points on the overlay that you usually see during the races because, yeah, unfortunately, there was a penalty for Fabio Grassetto with his incident with Sam Fitzpatrick back at Manicourt, so he's dropped a bunch of points from that second place finish that he had in the feature race. He's now on 18 points, but it's Aaron Smith at the top of the pile on 71, Lee Aberdeen second, and Blade Speed Esports, Ed, they're absolutely flying at the top of that team's championship, aren't they? Doing a wonderful job.
Yeah, they're looking ever so comfortable way out in front. Obviously, we'll see how the rest of the championship goes, but it's such a formidable lineup. It's very easy to, I think, call them the favourites for the season, at least so far.
Yeah, definitely. And we now finally look at cars on track. We have Lee Aberdeen on your screens right now, coming into the final chicane here at Zolder. We'll go on board with Lee and just see what a lap around this place looks like. You'll see just how narrow it is. I was lucky enough to have my first visit to Zolder just over a month ago with the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Never mind then. Lee has decided no on that one. Hoyland there going through the Villeneuve chicane, and this is, I mean, it's a car that's loose anyway from what we've seen, Ed, but around a circuit like this as well, it's really going to push these cars to the limit.
Yeah, it's that first right-hander after the Villeneuve chicane where the rear of the car just seems to constantly want to break traction, and we've already seen, well, at Manicourt, that the rear end of these cars is very loose, especially through the slow speed. Funnily enough, a few of these corners, like these ones here, slow speed, you need to get that rotation. Careful it doesn't over-rotate on you. You can cut a bit more of that inside curb on the run out of the final corner. Really sort of extend and sort of shallow out the corner, so it's less sharp. You can get that out nice and early as well. You can see great onboard shot here with Matt Hoyland. And you've got to really just be chucking it into these first few corners. Sort of trust the car is going to stick, especially through here as well. Light lift, getting well over the curb on the inside. It's deceptively narrow as well on the exit, isn't it? You always think you're going to barrel into the wall there.
Yeah, it really can catch you out very easily into the first of the chicanes as well. Lovely little bounce over the curbs. You could see he almost had the the steering wheel completely straight all the way through that. Back down into the Villeneuve chicane again. It's almost a blind apex on the inside. Obviously, we've got the benefit of being a bit higher up in the camera that we're on there. But yeah, it is very, very difficult to get it right in all of these chicanes. Just to show you as well, I want to bring up the points graphics when the session ticks over, because there will be a few seconds of quiet about now when all the cars disappear. We'll bring up the points and just show you how it all looks, because in the actual graphics itself, you all know what I'm like. I'll go full disclosure on all of this, but you can see, look, it's 71 to 61, whereas on our actual points graphics, you can see it should be 71 to 63. For some reason, they haven't updated it won't let me manually update the points in the graphics package, unfortunately. It's Fabio Grassetto that stands out there. He should be dropped down to 18 points, and a number of the other drivers should be on a lot more than that. We're trying a new qualifying format here in Formula CDM here tonight, and this is going to be one-shot qualifying. So the drivers head out on circuit one by one. They are all allotted a certain time at which they leave the pit lane, and they go out one by one with 20-second intervals. Chris Humphries will still be getting a telling off for not sorting out the numbers on his car, the number 62 machine, but it's Francois Brandet that is first out on track in car number 7. And this it's a bit of a tidier way of doing this one-shot qualifying, isn't it, Ed, compared to what we had in Formula 1 in the previous seasons, where it was choreographed almost by hand by all of the drivers and people involved. This is a little bit more set in stone, a little bit more black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, it means that hopefully we don't need to rely on one individual person, which was the case in the past, where, full disclosure, we had someone in the server basically calling drivers out onto the circuit, didn't we, Chaz?
Yeah.
Making sure that obviously that the rules were being followed and that everyone had that sort of, get up and go. But now we're trusting them to follow to a time schedule. Each driver has a set time in the session when they're allowed to get out onto the circuit, going based off of time in the session rather than anything else. So it's, I believe, 20-second intervals.
Yes.
Does mean that hopefully we'll get to see all of the times come through in relatively even spaces. We'll try and catch as much of the lap for as many of the drivers as we can. But right now, just watching them get ready on their first flying laps. Francois Brandet first across the line to set a flying lap. Also means that the drivers need to get used to pushing on probably suboptimal, probably colder tyres, isn't it, than what they would have been used to in qualifying, giving it a few more laps to bed in the past, whereas now they need to really start pushing when the car's probably not going to be right there and comfortable for them.
No, absolutely, and it means as well that there's no sort of complications and there's not people at the same bit of the circuit as well overlapping with each other. So we keep our eyes on Francois Brandet, who has had a bit of a nightmare so far this season. No race finishes for him in the Dragonfly competition car, and he's going to be taking it easy on this one lap that he gets to make sure that he doesn't overdo it. Now, the tyres do take 3 laps to heat up in these cars, and they're going to be trying to set the fastest time on just their second lap. So it'll be interesting to see who can master the capability of this car straight off the bat. Looks like a nice tidy lap, this, from Francois. He's not overdoing it here and there. You can just see by the body language of the car, he's just keeping it all in check. He's not had the best 4th sector, though. Let's hope he can improve in the 5th.
Yeah, looked pretty comfortable through that final corner at the very least, but Francois, like you mentioned, a bit more sort of, I'm trying to think the right word, not necessarily pedestrian, but definitely cautious, getting a time on the board. So we're at 26.877 that the rest of the drivers will now have to try and beat. Again, it's all about making sure you set a valid time, because there are no do-overs. One shot means exactly that. They don't get any second chances, so Brandet being very smart there just by getting a time on the board, faster than Chris Humphries, who slots into second place.
Next up on his lap is Jack Werrell. He's just coming into the final couple of corners now. It's all purples for Jack. He had a bit of a tough time at Manicourt in his first race of the season. He's getting really competitive here. All the way over to the left-hand side. Across the line goes Werrell, and he puts it on provisional pole by 1.1 seconds at the moment. A lovely time indeed that for Jack Werrell in the Derrington Francis car. He'll be over the moon. Next up is going to be Connor Hatfield. He's 0.6 of the way around his lap at the moment. Unfortunately, the graphic is picking up the outlaps as well. Although, actually, yeah, it is displaying outlaps, unfortunately. So we can see Danny Weir and Simon Price at the bottom. There is a big slide by Connor Hatfield in the Spontex CDM Esports car. Wow, big old moment there. Let's see if he can at least... Well, he should have at least a valid time, because he didn't completely spin the car. All the way over to the left goes the American. And across the line... Still slots in front of Humphreys as well. He must have had a pretty solid lap time there.
Yeah, really impressive car controller to keep it in, well, not quite a straight line, but to straighten it up without getting the loss of control that will invalidate the lap time. I believe that's a 2x for spinning out, so very well held. Obviously, any incident points do invalidate your laps on iRacing, so basically means you can't afford any mistakes running wide or cutting the corners. Will completely end your qualifying session and your attempt at pole position, and that looks like it's an incident point there for Philip Miles, Hikawa Racing driver, not quite being able to keep it between pushing so hard and that final chicane. Easy done. Never mind, he does get another time on the board. Somehow, just barely kept it on track.
Danny Weir next up. He's just coming into the final chicane now. So far, he's had personal bests in all 4 sectors, but no purples as of right now. He crosses the line. Where does Danny go? Is it enough for second place? No, he goes 4th behind Hatfield and Brandet. He'll be gutted to see that there was that spin for Connor Hatfield and it still put him ahead. Simon Price next up for Team Verde. Team Verde having a bit of a tough start to the season. Across the line goes Simon. His teammate is not here for this round this evening, and Simon Price goes second fastest, quicker than Francois Brandet. He won't let him hear the end of that. But it's Jack Werrell at the moment, Ed, that is the one to beat. We've actually got a few more still coming in now. Stuart Clark is next up ahead of Martin Kenyon. Purple 4th sector for Stuart.
Stuart, yeah, this could be a good lap time potentially onto the front row. We'll see what Stuart Clark can do. No, only onto the second row, just behind Francois Brandet. Big moment for Martin Kenyon. They're pushing so hard, aren't they, through that final chicane. It's just one minor mistake, but locking the brakes to keep the car in a stable direction and then slowly taking the lock off keeps a valid lap time. 8th fastest for Martin Kenyon.
Yeah, he's got David Whitehouse behind him, car 29. This is the thing, though, that one mistake will shake up the grid. It might make the grid very interesting. Rather than give him a full session to go faster, David very close to the wall there. If you get too close, you might actually clip it. He goes 4th fastest. Jack Werrell still over a second clear of the rest of the field, showing a fantastic time at the minute. Here's the first of the Mirage Sport cars. I love the look of these things. John Tusting round the final corner, and he makes it all the way over to the left-hand side as well to try and shorten that run to the line. And he goes second fastest, but still nearly 0.8 of a second off Werrell.
Yeah, it's very impressive by Jack Werrell there. Very strong lap time there. Could take some beating. We'll see if Alex Fretwell can do just that. Purple in the 4th sector. No improvement, or personal best rather, in the second and the final sector, but he gets up into second place. So now dethroning John Tusting from the front row of the grid is Alex Fretwell. So far it is going to be, well, Fretwell and Werrell out in front.
Absolutely is. Looks like we've got Ben Chalcraft next up to come across the line. Sorry, we did miss Alex's lap there. I was just trying to sort something in the background. And across the line goes Chalcraft, the man that came up with this format idea. And they're not going to be quite claiming fix, as Ben goes second quickest, just behind Werrell. Now, what about this man, Fabio Grassetto, the Italian driver? Got a slap on the wrists after Manicourt with his incident with Sam Fitzpatrick. Lost a bunch of points. He's going to want to redeem that, isn't he, tonight here, Ed?
Yes, he certainly will. Pushing hard through that final chicane, really over that inside curve that we saw you can do in practice. That could be a very strong time here on the board. Is it going to be enough for pole position? Yes, it is, by 1/10 of a second. Only just getting ahead of that very impressive lap time set by Jack Werrell. And let's not forget, it was earlier on in the session. It's not quite been rubbered in as much as it has been now. It's another thing to note as well, isn't it? The drivers that come in later will have a slightly more weathered and rubbered and grippier circuit than those that come at the start of the session.
They absolutely will. Jack Reeves crossed the line. Sam Fitzpatrick next up into the last chicane. They really are flying over the line here, actually, very close together. It's really exciting to see. Next up, Sam Fitzpatrick, reigning Formula One world champion. And he goes second quickest, just 38 thousandths of a second between the top two. Leonard Schneebel pushing it too hard into the final corner. Leonard won the very first race of the season, the sprint race, but I don't think that's going to be a valid time. We'll still see. It is, but it's only 8th fastest for him. Kevin Zemstra next up. This has turned out to be very exciting. Kevin Zemstra into the final chicane now. The car doesn't look like it wants to turn in, but he makes it so. Opposite lock on the exit. What about Kevin? 2 purple sectors here. Is it enough? Oh, it's nerve-wracking. Yes, it is.
Just
8 thousandths, 800ths of a second, I should say. Kevin Zemstra goes pole ahead of Grassetto. What about this man, Fraser Smith? He's rapid, isn't he, Ed?
Yeah, Fraser Smith, he's certainly going to be pushing hard. We saw plenty of his ability last time at Manny Court. Can he match or even exceed expectations? He goes fastest. 400ths of a second ahead of Kevin Zemstra. That's really impressive stuff. We know how quick Kevin is over one lap. Now, though, we shift our focus to Matt Hoyland. No purple sectors apart from at the very end. Could that be enough to seal pole? No, it isn't. Only good enough for 5th. But look at how close the top 5 are, all within 0.2 of a second.
That is fantastic. Only just a quarter of a second covering the top 7. Lee Aberdeen has done a purple sector 1 on this lap. He's been on pole position at both of the previous rounds. He slides it out the final corner. Is it going to be another pole position for him? Aaron Smith's done a purple sector. It's not Lee's best final sector, but it's still enough for pole position, and he goes a 10th clear at the very top. And I hope he's going to carry on, because I told them all in the driver's briefing, don't just stop on tracks, it looks rubbish. Now, next up, Aaron Smith, championship leader, took his first win of the season at Manicourt. He's about to cross the line. He needs a purple final sector. He's got it, and he's got with it pole position here at Zolder for Aaron Smith, and he's going to be the final car to cross the line. He stops Blade Speed Esports, locking out the front row again. It's Lee Aberdeen second, Fraser Smith in 3rd place. He'll be pretty chuffed with that after a tough time at Manicourt. Still scored quite a few points, though. Hoyland will be a bit disappointed with 7th, won't he, Ed? Because we've seen him do better than that before.
Yeah, Hoyland, not sure if there was a mistake potentially earlier on in the lap that cost him those few tenths that he was looking for. Real big shame, but of course, brings qualifying to a close. And I want to see what the driver's feedback was from our perspective, at least in the comms box. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really solid. It seemed like it went very quickly. It's a 15-minute session total, and we've only got 2.5 minutes of that left. It's mad how quickly that has flown by. There goes Hoyland then down the pit lane. But what about Aaron Smith there, Ed? Made it count at the right time, and he will be completely buzzing with that one. And I'm sure there will be a lot of nerves now, because he's got a target on his back being the championship leader, hasn't he? But now, on top of that, he's got the target on his back being on pole position.
Yeah, he does, and that's going to be, I think, something for him to try and contend with. He's going to be very happy to see one of the, I think, stars of at least the first round in the championship, Leonard Schneebel, all the way down in 13th. That's a real talking point, isn't it? From a driver that was so strong in the opening round of the championship, just to struggle right now in qualifying. Obviously missed last time out at Manicourt, which gave all of, well, the championship contenders a bit more breathing room. Still, he's going to have to really work hard to get through on a circuit which is very narrow and always notorious for being difficult to overtake at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very interesting that that's how the session has panned out. What we will do, though, is just while I advance the session on, I will bring up the points for you all, just so I can do this in not in secret, obviously, But moving on to the next session, but again, Aaron Smith and Lee Aberdeen, the top 2 on the grid, are the top 2 in the championship as well. So there's a bit of weight behind that, I think. We'll see how they can get on here in what will be the first race of the night. Let's have a look at the grid then for race number 1, the 15-minute sprint race here at Zolder. It's going to be Aaron Smith and Lee Aberdeen on the front row, Fraser Smith and Kevin Zemstra row 2. Then it's Fabio Grassetto alongside Sam Fitzpatrick. Matt Hoyland is next with Jack Werrell in 8th. Jack Reeve is 9th ahead of Ben Chalcraft. Then it's Alex Fretwell alongside John Tusting. Lennart Schneebel is 13th alongside Simon Price. Francois Brandet and David Whitehouse make up the 8th row, with Stuart Clark and Connor Hatfield next. Danny Weir is 19th ahead of Philip Miles. Martin Kenyon and Chris Humphreys complete the field. So Ed, plenty to do for some of the drivers further down. I know that Martin Kenyon has been in the thick of things a bit more than he would be expecting from here on the grid anyway. What do you reckon from further down the order? Anyone to keep an eye on?
Yeah, I think we mentioned Lennart Schneebel early. He's going to want to keep an eye on. Alex Fretwell as well. He put in a very impressive time earlier on. Just not quite enough to break into the top 10. We'll see what he can do. Let's also not forget Jack Werrell. Early on in the session, he really set the timing screens alight. And he's going to be certainly one to keep an eye on.
Cars just now filling up the grid. Aaron Smith starts on the left-hand side, on our right-hand side. And as we wait for Simon Price to fill the spot on the left-hand side of your screen, just behind the Mirage car of John Tusting, boop, there he is. We'll get this sprint race underway, shall we? Round 3 of the Formula CDM European Series from Zolder with our 15-minute sprint race is go, and the tyre smoke flies into the air. It's a poor start by Werrell, it's a poor start by Hoyland. Smith gets a good getaway, so too does Fraser Smith. Fabio Grassetto side by side with Kevin Zemstra for 4th position as well. Looked like a pretty good start from everybody at the front. It was very even, but it was Hoyland and Werrell that have both had a very nightmarish beginning. Hoyland trying to get round Ben Chalcraft now and gain that position back straight off the bat here. Looks like this is going to be a bit of a nerve-wracking time. Big commitment by Hoyland around the outside, Ed.
Yeah, really brave by Matt, especially on the cold tyres. It can easily break away from you. So well held all the way around the outside. But Aaron Smith, he got the start he was hoping for. No real challenge in towards turn 1. There's plenty of challenge going on in behind, though. That's Francois Brandet. And was that David Whitehouse potentially going into the side of him?
I think it was, yeah. Simon Price, I think, was involved in that as well. Hopefully all is well with Francois' car, because he's not finished a race this season and he's fed up of getting taken out on lap 1. Hopefully the car's all right. But a good start by Aaron Smith, Lee Aberdeen, Fraser Smith, Kevin Zemstra, Fabio Grassetto, Sam Fitzpatrick, all of them remaining in their starting positions. Hoyland there, down the inside of Alex Fretwell to gain a place back. He'd lost 3 positions by turn 1. He's now only lost 1 overall as Kenyon and Tusting go side by side further down. Interesting battles all over the field once again here, Ed.
Yeah, you can see going defensive on the inside. David Whitehouse got involved in contact earlier on. Oh, and he gets involved in contact from behind as Martin Kenyon gets rear-ended by, that's John Tusting, I think, that's then also taken a trip straight into the pits. Did he potentially jump the start, John, and has to serve a drive-through?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he expected them to be out of the way. Oh, dearie me.
Oh, well, either way, he was coming into the pits. Looks like severe front wing damage.
Yeah, I don't know if he was aiming to come into the pits first. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, the sim had a bit of a moment there. It wouldn't go back live, sorry. But yeah, I think, I don't know if Tusting did intend to go in the pits and then didn't think about how much the other guys would slow down or what, but yeah, it didn't go right for him that at all. Zemstra now under pressure from Fabio Grassetto, the Italian in that gleaming blue Wave Racing Tech car, hoping to make up for the points he lost with his penalty back at Manicourt. He's been very, very quick though, hasn't he, Ed? He's certainly shown us wonderful pace when he's not been having his moments.
Yeah, he definitely has. As
Oh,
Kevin nearly has, well, a moment to himself there. Very loose. It's again in the slow speed where we see the rear having a tendency to over-rotate. This is kind of Hatfield. Swantek CDM car just off the road and losing a couple of positions, pushing a bit too hard out of, oh dearie me, and then Francois Brandet all by himself. I think gets a bit too much curve, the car bottoms out and sends him into a spin.
Jack Reeve has got a slowdown penalty, so he's had to give up that position to Matt Hoyland now. Hoyland getting back in front of him. John Tusting has also gotten a slowdown penalty further down the order. Don't forget that the top 10 get reversed on the grid for the second race of the night, so Lennart Schneebel is in the perfect position here to go on to reverse grid pole, and also it's only the top 10 that score points in the sprint race, although to be fair, with his prowess and pace and the promise that he's shown us, Lennart will not want to settle for 10th position, will he, Ed?
Certainly won't. Lennart Schneebel, he's already made decent headway, like you mentioned, but wants to try and get a little bit more than that. As side by side up in front through the Villeneuve chicane. Great defence there by Aaron Smith. Fraser getting one over on Lee Aberdeen, who now is slotting behind, but that was excellent battling. It's still carrying on now. In towards the hairpin they go. Again, the inside line being covered off by Aaron Smith, but trying to hang it all the way around the outside and just about succeeding there. Fraser Smith, he gets the run out of the corner as well. Inside line for the final couple of corners. Could be a very, very brilliantly orchestrated move here for the lead of the race, but they still remain side by side. Racing room has to be afforded on the inside. This is what we love to see, isn't it, Chaz?
Nearly 3 wide for the lead now. Lee Aberdeen suddenly decides to go to the inside, right behind his teammate. Fraser Smith on the inside line should have this. Lee needs to be careful of the understeer. Aaron's been covered off by Fraser, who now goes to the inside again. Aaron back down the inside. Fraser wants to cover that off as soon as he can. A 2x2 because Kevin Zemstra is involved in this as well. Fabio Grassetto also in the mix. Fraser cuts the nose off Aaron, sends a message and says, no thank you, sunshine, you're not coming through there. At the back of this, Sam Fitzpatrick, by the way, in 6th place. This is like being back in Formula 1, this. The top 6 separated by less than a second.
Who said it's hard to overtake around Zolder? Fraser Smith just makes up 2 places in the space of a minute.
Oh, no!
Sam Fitzpatrick just gets overtaken, and oh dear, it's all gone pear-shaped. Aaron Smith and Lee Aberdeen coming together. Fraser Smith getting away scot-free, but I tell you, that has got some big implications for the championship. 2 big hitters down the order.
The top 2 in the championship as well, out of all of them. I think Lee bounced over the curb, and then that's what sent him into Aaron. They went side by side. Yeah, just Lee bounced wide on it, unfortunately, and just wasn't able to leave the room. Aaron Smith has been affected by that as well. That is a big, big shame. The battle's still going on, by the way. Fabio Grassetto side by side with Sam Fitzpatrick. Sam won't like this after Manicourt because the 2 of them came to very unnecessary blows into the hairpin. The 2 cross-development cars are up there, and Jack Werrell might get a bit of karma here as Fabio, Italian flamboyance there on show.
Yeah, I have no idea how he held it, because it looked like it went once, then he recovered it, and then it had a second stab at trying to break loose under him. Great car control. You can just tell how desperate he is to get on the power as soon as possible to break away from the chasing pack behind Sam Fitzpatrick and Matt Hoyland, while also, let's not forget, Fabio, he can see a potential race victory up in front of him. Kevin Zemstra and Fraser Smith aren't a million miles away.
Definitely not. Lee Aberdeen has come into the pits. Aaron Smith is still out there racing. He's just behind Jack Werrell. Now, if he stays in 10th place, he'll be reversed onto pole position for the reverse grid race, but no, he's decided against that. Werrell, I think, knows what the format is, and he's thinking, you know what, I qualified well, I may as well try and take advantage of that and get pole. Fraser Smith leading this race now after the demise of his teammate and their main championship rival. Kevin Zemstra 2nd, Fabio Grassetto 3rd, then it's Sam Fitzpatrick and Matt Hoyland. Lennart Schneebel, he's gained 7 places so far in this race. Biggest mover in the field is Lennart. Behind, Alex Fretwell and Jack Reeve having a bit of a ding-dong here. These 2 came to blows a couple of times in Formula 1 and weren't the best of friends, so I'm holding my breath over this one. Unfortunately, Danny Weir and Martin Kenyon have had some dramas. This is Danny Weir down to the Villeneuve chicane. Oh, it's going to go one way, then the other, over the curb, and Martin with nowhere to go. Francois, unbelievably, avoids an incident for once. Fretwell, there's been drama. Fretwell and Jack Reeve. I was just saying about holding my breath for it, wasn't I? The 2 of them have come to blows, and suddenly one of them doesn't have a front wing. Fretwell moves over to the left, Reeve all the way over to the right. Oh, Jack's gone over the curb. Nothing he could have done there, really. He just ran wide.
That's real suspension damage there. You can just see from Jack Reeves' point of view, here he goes defending the inside line. Alex Fretwell all the way around the out. Manages it just fine there. And
that's
it's just enough space was afforded. It wasn't like Alex squeezed him onto the curb. It was just
No.
a mistake there, unfortunately, that took him out of a race. Alex will need to come into the pits to get that damage repaired. And at Schneebel, meanwhile, right in the thick of this action, Aaron Smith getting ahead of him. Cross development driver wanting to fight back. Aaron doing well actually to recover after that earlier incident, hasn't he?
Yeah, really well. Very, very well. And considering as well that one of the drivers he's overtaken is Lennart Schneebel. Oh, goodness me. Lennart dipped a wheel on the grass. He's going to get a slowdown penalty as a result of that. He's got a yellow flag. Werrell needs to be careful here, but yeah, flipping heck. Lennart over the grass and into Aaron Smith. Aaron was nearly turned for... Well, he was nearly involved in an incident for the second time in this race. Grassetto down the inside of Zemstra. Zemstra closes the door at turn 1, says no thank you. Sam Fitzpatrick with a bird's eye view of this. He's going to chase them through turns 2 and 3. Another absolute belter of a race here, Ed. This is great fun.
Yeah, and we've still got another race to go after this. A longer one as well. The feature race coming up later this evening. So yeah, it's going to be some small comfort, not a big one to Lee Aberdeen, knowing that there is still one more race to go, more chances to score points, and obviously more available in the second race of the night, just because obviously it goes on for longer, it counts for more. Obviously he's going to be way, way down the order, well outside of any chance of that reverse grid pole position, which is currently being occupied by Ben Chalcraft. Car racing driver. Well,
you say currently
being occupied. Not for much longer, as Alex Fretwell is now getting just about ahead of him. Still running a very low downforce version of the little Formula car we're running.
Yeah, he's plucky. He's trying. Yeah. But he's holding these guys up here. David Whitehouse had to get out of that, and now Simon Price wants a bit of it. Ben Chalcraft is trying his best to hold on to 10th as Whitehouse down the inside says thank you very much. But no, Stuart Clark is off. Oh, out of all of them, Stuart Clark was the one that wasn't under the pressure, and he's had a spin at the hairpin. Flipping heck.
Hearing me. So, let's see how this all unfolds. He's actually going defensive. There was a little bit of pressure applied to the outside, and then the car just, as he's putting the power down, it gets a little bit of a bump on the inside, I think, from when the curb ends. It just... car sort of dips down at the rear, and then that sort of imbalance sends him to a spin.
Philip Miles
is a great fight though, isn't it, for 10?
Yeah, I was going to say Philip Miles just clipping the back of Fretwell there because Alex is refusing to bring that car into the pits, and unfortunately he's sort of getting in these guys' way now. I was thinking he was hoping to hold on to his top 10 spot, but look, bring it in, Alex. Like, you know what I mean? He's parking it on the apex and he's affecting others now.
Don't think he's actually necessarily got the visibility to see that he's missing his front wing, and if he hasn't been given basically the iRacing meatball flag, he's not really going to be aware. He knows he's got some front wing damage, but I'm not sure to what extent he's probably gotten it.
Yeah, interesting. I'd if he knew, I'd implore him to bring it in, because he's clearly holding others up and they're having their own fight, but at the end of the day, he's outside a point-scoring place now. I think he's just trying to hold on simply for grid position. Fraser Smith, though, we haven't spoken about him much since he took the lead of the race, but he is having a ball out there at the minute. He's having a very, very good time, and he'll be certainly enjoying himself all the way to the flag. Currently resides 4th in the championship after one podium finish all season. He got that at Manicourt, and he had corrected me in the chat, by the way. He said that he was on pole last week, and he was. He's absolutely right. I'm very sorry, Fraser. But right now, he's looking good for his first win of the season, and we knew it would come at some point with the pace that Fraser's got. We've commentated on him a lot, haven't we, Ed?
Yeah, definitely, and he showed some great ability at Manicourt as well, actually, getting caught up in a little sort of, well, both of the Blade Speed cars getting caught up in incidents of their own, but himself was involved in a few, and he still had some great recoveries. This time, though, it's been a bit more of a smoother sailing for him, hasn't it? A lot more comfortable. You see him when he gets up to the line now. It will not be the white flag this time by. It will basically be 2 laps over the line for Fraser Smith to enjoy. 2 laps for Kevin Zemstra to endure, as in behind he's got the Italian Fabio Grassetto, the Wave Racing Tech driver, who, despite obviously getting involved in the incidents last time out, really did impress me with his pace and his ability to keep it going, as well as the fuel management as well. Let's not forget, he came in very early after an incident and yet still held the car firm, sort of nursed it through the race, sipped the fuel, and with a very strong result.
Absolutely. And yeah, right now it's looking good for Wave Racing Tech as well. 2 cars inside the top 5. Fabio and Hoyland both doing well. Team Lizard Motorsport asking how they fan boost Fitzpatrick right now. To be fair, Sam is holding station, isn't he, in 4th place, just waiting for these guys to have a fight in the Flaxen Sport machine. And this is what Sam does, isn't it? He's always in the right place at the right time in these situations, Ed.
Yeah, lets everyone else muck about, and then when they all get sort of closed up with one another, wherever there's a mistake like that, well, Sam is ready to pounce, and we'll see it now. You can almost sense that his eyes have lit up, and he's really raring to go. Senses the move right round the outside. Hard onto the brakes, careful, trying to get the rotation. Very nicely done, powering out of the corner, aiming for a switchback, but well held by Grassetto to essentially recover after that little mistake. Now to defend the inside, the Italian just muscles Sam out of any real attempt at an overtake.
Got the run though.
Another little wiggle, and he's got a great run, like you mentioned. Now, can he find a space all the way around the outside? Not quite. Once more going for the cutback to get the overlap on the second corner. He's really making Grassetto work for this, is Fitzpatrick, but just no real chance. And now, well, look at the other Wave Racing Tech car now. Matt Hoyland fancies a move.
Oh, Grassetto all the way over to the left-hand side there. That was borderline, that, on blocking Sammers. Oh, Matt now on the grass as well. Final lap of the race here at Zolder in the sprint race for round number 3 of the championship here in the Formula CDM European Series. Sam Fitzpatrick throwing the kitchen sink and everything else at Fabio Grassetto, and the Italian will not budge for that podium spot.
Matt's got to run. Oh, I thought he was going to think about it there as they went over the hill. I think Matt just backed off a touch. Didn't necessarily want to chuck it up the inside through the Villeneuve chicane. Fraser Smith, though, he's only got a handful of corners to go, and he will have a very, very comfortable victory. Such an impressive drive from the Blade Speed Esports driver. While his teammate's not necessarily the best there in the office, Fraser Smith is more than making up for it in terms of Blade Speed points. With just one more chicane to go, he will win the first race of the evening here at Zolder.
Fraser Smith takes the victory in the sprint race, his first win of the season, and after getting pole at Manicourt, that's what he needed. Zemstra gets second, Fabio Grassetto a great 3rd place and a hard-fought one indeed, ahead of Sam Fitzpatrick. Matt Hoyland, Aaron Smith recovers to 6th place, Leonard Schneebel will finish 7th, Jack Werrell the only driver to finish this race where he started in 8th position. And what about for 10th spot and reverse grid pole? Is Simon Price able to do it? No, he just misses out, and it's going to go to David Whitehouse in the Derrington Francis car. 2 of their cars will be in the top 3. Just behind, Philip Miles is side by side with Connor Hatfield. It's a run to the line, and Connor just loses out. Francois Brandet finishes 14th. He'll be happy with his first race finish of the season. And what about Lee Aberdeen? He recovers to 17th at the end. Alex Fretwell, with his lack of front wing, still crossing the line. Martin Kenyon, after his drama-filled race, finishes 18th. And John Tusting was the driver that he was involved with earlier. John, unfortunately, finishing down in 19th position. And, oh no, one final flurry there for Chris Humphreys as he crosses the line in 20th place. But a first win in Formula CDM for Fraser Smith, and a very strong win it was as well. Zemstra finishing in 2nd, and Kevin, I know, will be really pleased with that result. We'll take a quick look at the race result now, if it'll please show up. Like I say, we unfortunately had issues with the points graphics, so we will not be able to update them here on the night unless we give them a fix, but yeah, that'll have to be something we fix for next time. But Fraser Smith wins, Kevin Zemstra 2nd, Fabio Grassetto, a very hard-earned 9 points for him. Sam Fitzpatrick is 4th, ahead of Matt Hoyland in 5th. Aaron Smith recovers to 6th, ahead of Leonard Schneebel, who did recover after his poor qualifying. Jack Werrell, great start to his night in 8th, same with his teammate actually completing the top 10. Ben Chalcraft again, strong result. Simon Price, I think that's his best result of the season, in 11th place. It is, yeah, he's had 2 12th places in the sprint races so far. Now he's got an 11th. Philip Miles next up, ahead of Connor Hatfield and Francois Brandet. I believe, like I say, that's his first finish of the season. And then we have Stuart Clark, Alex Fretwell, Lee Aberdeen and Martin Kenyon, with John Tusting, Chris Humphreys, Danny Weir and Jack Reeve was out of the race. Sounds like we've got some practice starts going on. Matt Hoyland doing some practice starts out there on circuit, but great first race of the night there, Ed. That was good fun, that.
Yeah, really, really good. Some great racing all the way through the field. I've got to say, Fabio Grassetto impressed me a lot with his racecraft this time out. Certainly, we know he's not the driver to be dirty or get involved in instances like that. So it's great to see him prove what, well, we know he can do and have a great defensive drive there to keep, well, so many of the drivers at bay, not less his own teammate that was fancying a little bit of a move, didn't he, up into second place at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really solid first race of the night. It is that time, though, where Ed and I will take a quick break for just 5 minutes while the warm-up session is on. So enjoy some of the pictures here from Zolder, and we'll be back in a moment for the feature race, the 40-minute feature here in Formula CDM European Series. Apologies for you seeing that test live there, everybody. We start to give it a go. We'll be back in a moment. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Ed May here for the Formula CDM European Series from Zolder, round 3 of the championship. And we are here for the warm-up session between our two races. We start with a 15-minute sprint where this man, Sam Fitzpatrick, put in a fantastic defensive and offensive performance to try and overtake Fabio Grassetto, while also defending from Matt Hoyland for what was 4th position. And we're looking forward to an absolute belter of a feature race here, Ed. We've both covered a lot of endurance racing here before. You alluded to at the start of the broadcast that we've done the virtual bell car and the 24-hour races multiple times, but we've never covered a 40-minute feature race in these sorts of cars around here, have we?
No, we haven't, and that'll obviously add a different dimension to obviously our experience, but also the drivers. So I don't think they've necessarily driven these cars around this sort of circuit before, at the very least. It's not a commonly used car either, is it, actually, the Indy Pro 18. So that's going to be something for them to obviously get used to, the tyre wear, the way it's going to affect the grip that they'll be having throughout the whole of the stint. Also, just the fact that this circuit doesn't really ever relent. You don't necessarily get a moment to think because, well, there are a couple of straights. They're not the longest in the world, are they?
No, absolutely. It's very interesting circuit is Zolder, and yeah, not normally one for absolutely mentally rapid machines. We've done a few GT3 broadcasts here, and it really felt like they were. I mean, the trucks go racing here at Zolder, which is just amazing. But yeah, even the GT3 cars felt like trucks. These cars, they feel a little bit more suited to it size-wise, though, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely seem to, obviously, by being smaller, promote some closer racing. You can fit cars side by side around this circuit, which is obviously great to see. Currently following, well, this man, Sam Fitzpatrick, who was certainly in the thick of the action, wasn't he, earlier on, fighting for that 2nd place. Just losing out in the end, having to settle for 3rd, but still some solid points, and that's just what you really need, isn't it, when you're still an early phase of the championship.
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, there's not as much big picture thinking going on here. Everyone's just trying to give it everything to get an early advantage over other drivers in the standings. But I'm excited to see how this final race of the night goes. Should be an interesting one at 40 minutes in length, and I think a few of them are going to think about strategy here because it's hard to overtake.
Here we see, well, Martin Kenyon, that's Sam Fitzpatrick's teammate, out on the road now. And if I remember rightly, had a bit of a tricky qualifying session, didn't he? Had that moment where he had to lock it up to keep it in a straight line through that final chicane. Means that obviously he was starting a bit further down than perhaps his pace would have led us to believe. You know, well, ticks over in the session. We get to see the cars form up onto the grid for the 40-minute feature race, which is coming up in a minute's time.
Very excited for this one. David Whitehouse starts on pole position then, with Ben Chalcraft alongside him. Jack Werrell starts in 3rd position. Lennart Schneebel will start in 4th. He's a definite potential winner here. But then again, look behind him. Aaron Smith, Matt Hoyland, Sam Fitzpatrick, Fabio Grassetto, Kevin Zemstra, Fraser Smith, all inside the top 10. Any of them could win this. Simon Price starts alongside Philip Miles on the 6th row of the grid, both of them hoping for some points out of this one. Connor Hatfield and Francois Brandet are on row 7. Stuart Clark is alongside Alex Fretwell, with Lee Aberdeen down in 17th. He's alongside Martin Kenyon. We then have John Tusting and Chris Humphreys, with Danny Weir and Jack Reeve completing the back row of the grid. Keep an eye out for Jack Reeve coming through the order, because he is a bit of a missile. We are just waiting on our pole sitter now, David Whitehouse, to line up on the grid. He'll be in front of his teammate Jack Werrell in the black car on the right hand side. Any moment now, there he is, and we will get racing. So the lights come on, and the feature race here in the Formula CDM European Series at Zolder is underway. And there's a lot of wheel spin from the front row of the grid, and Whitehouse loses a bit of time. Schneebel and Werrell come together. They're over on the left, and there's a big pile in behind them. Lee Aberdeen involved, and oh no! The front row are off as well. Oh, goodness me. Grassetto's off. Aaron Smith is off. Aaron Smith, championship leader, is off. Alex Fretwell has gained 13 positions, and he's up into 3rd place already. Sam Fitzpatrick is gone. There are, oh my goodness me, count them, 10 Meatball flags. Kevin Zemstra and Fraser Smith both with damage. Sam
Lee
Fitzpatrick is laughing.
Lee Aberdeen out of the running as well. Deary me, it's not been a good day in the office at all, is it, for Lee? He came into this, well, pretty happy with himself, it's fair to say. Right up in the front, racing down Aaron Smith in the championship, but now, well, advantage Smith.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Zemstra has got big damage on that front right. It's completely bent in. Fraser Smith is going to go past him, I believe. I think Fraser has got meatball flag damage, but he's able to continue. Yeah. Obviously, the suspension on these things is made of bread. Martin Kenyon trying to come down the inside of Stuart Clark. The thing is, there's that many cars retiring and slowing down in front of you. You've got a 40-minute race ahead of you here. If you've not got a meatball flag, you need to just be patient and do what you can do. But Simon Price has put in the Discord, help, I'm upside down. He's out of this one. And Sam Fitzpatrick is going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Wow.
Well, all of the drivers as well with meatball flags will need to make a second pit stop, won't they? That shouldn't be enough to fuel them until the end of the race.
Wow.
Deary me. That is not really what we wanted to see, is it, Chaz? We were hoping it was going to be much more like the first race in terms of the opening lap, where everyone was very well behaved and there was very minor incidents, but unfortunately it was kicked off, well, even before the first corner, really, and then there was that second incident from the front row that then also just caused everyone that thought they got away with the first time, they caught up in the second one.
So let's have a look then. So Leonard Schneebel and Jack Werrell, the black car on the left, they're going to both come together. They both go into the middle, and there's just that tiny touch, and they have contact. And then David Whitehouse at the front, he just runs wide into Ben Chalcraft, and then in the check-up behind, Grassetto goes over the top of Aaron Smith, and Lee Aberdeen's got nowhere to go. Lee Aberdeen is just left nowhere to go at all. Or is that Fraser Smith? Apologies. It is, isn't it? It's Fraser Smith that gets nowhere to go. Lee Aberdeen got caught up in the first part of it. Let's go Lee Aberdeen first. Gets an absolute steaming launch. You'll see Schneebel and Werrell go over to the left. Then they're in the middle of the road. Price, oh my goodness me, Simon Price goes absolutely flying over it. Fraser Smith then has Hoyland just bounce across the track in front of him. And it all just started. I mean, Aaron Smith had one of the biggest incidents there, and he's instantly jumping back into the pits. Smith started 5th. He's right behind this incident as well, so he probably got away from this, Ed, and thought, oh, I'm scot-free.
Yeah, we'll see from the onboard exactly, just all of it up in front, home and dry, laughing all the way to the bank, and then just what he doesn't need. And, well, that car gets... well, it looks like it's Formula V after that incident.
Yeah, absolutely. He got vaulted over. Completely vaulted. Lee Aberdeen has a black flag now as well. Is that for potentially speeding in the pits? Must be.
Could be.
That is not good news.
No.
Lee Aberdeen having a mentally taxing night, to say the least, here in Zolder. And it's nights like this though, Ed, and it's incidents like that that really throw the championship up in the air. And obviously, you know, a lot of the drivers involved, I mean, half of the field, more than half of the field, has been into the pits. We've had 12 out of 22 cars already down the pit lane, and there's a humongous divide in the field, as you can see. Jack Reeve is currently running in 8th. I said he'd go up the order, but he is currently 13 seconds ahead of Chris Humphries, who is next up, and he's the final car that hasn't been through the pit lane yet. But
just trying to have a look at the Drivers' Championship. I think the only driver... well, all of the drivers in the top 6 were involved in that, I believe.
Wow.
Zemstra is involved. Aaron Smith, Lee Aberdeen, Matt Hoyland, Fraser Smith as well.
Yeah.
Then at Schneebel, obviously, as well, was one of the drivers that kick-started all of this. We have to go all the way down to Sam Fitzpatrick in the championship standings to find a driver that wasn't involved in some way in that opening lap incident.
Simon Price and Chris Humphries have just come to blows at the first corner, unfortunately. Simon, I think, was a lap down as... oh, Chris has just stopped on the apex. I don't know what on earth happened there. Go back on board with Simon. He's on the right. There's a bunch of yellow flags from the guys near the front of the order. They're all getting slowdown penalties. Oh, Simon tries to get the cutback, but Chris is just too slow through the corner, and Simon misjudges it, unfortunately. Sam Fitzpatrick leading the way, though. Like I say, he's going to be laughing all the way to the bank here. And I'm sure that he will be, well, maybe just, I mean, we know Sam, he's realistic. He'll be wondering, you know, is it too good to be true?
Yeah, it's one of those moments. I mean, I'm just looking in the championship as well. Sam Fitzpatrick, who's got a comfortable lead, 8 seconds out in front. He got a podium, didn't he? 3rd place in that opening race for the evening. He'll be on track for a victory. Really huge haul of points when his main rivals all around him. Certainly struggling.
Well, he was fourth, wasn't he, behind Grassetto? Grassetto was 3rd, Zemstra was 2nd. So Sam Sam didn't get a podium in that first one, but he only just missed out. But either way, your point still stands. It was
definitely.
a big night of points for him, and good time to do it. And for these guys as well. I mean, we've got some great battles going on further down the order. I say further down, we're still inside the top 10. Chalcross 6th, Jack Reeve in 7th. I'm intrigued to see, you know, they always say the cream rises to the top, don't they, or whatever it is. And I'm intrigued to see who continues to rise in this one, despite the massive difference in the gaps from the leader now because of that crash. I'm excited to see that there will be some of them that make it work, but they might still need that second stop, which is all important.
Yeah, and that could be a very decisive factor in this race, but there's going to be plenty of action because of how it has shaken up the field. We've got a lot of drivers out of position, be that up the order or down the order, and that's going to mean that we're going to see some titanic defensive drives and some really desperate and hopefully clean, gutsy moves from those behind.
Got Kenyon running just behind Philip, just in front of Philip Miles in 4th place after Philip's little off there. Jack Reeve is now right up behind his teammate Ben Chalcraft. We're just watching these two make their way around the start of the lap. 32 minutes still left to go here. We still have, credit to the drivers, we still have 20 drivers running. Only Matt Hoyland and Simon Price are officially out of the race at this present moment. Everyone else still running. There's some of them are a lap down as well, which I'm intrigued to see in how they sort of reverse that as the race goes on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think as well if some drivers might try an alternate strategy of pitting a bit earlier if they are involved in those battles.
Oh no.
Philip Miles was completely derailing my train of thought there with that little incident out of the Villeneuve chicane there again. And for a low drag, that's the suspension like you mentioned. Just absolutely paper thin, and from that bit of contact, well, he's going to have to really nurse it home.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. That car is very broken. He is still dragging it back, though, because he knows it's not going to be 2 minutes to get back to the pits. Just needs to be careful here, as here comes Fraser Smith into the hairpin. Oh, wow, that was a fast pirouette. As Fraser goes through, thinking, what on earth was that? Fraser's got Zemstra behind him. Philip Miles has now towed it back to the pits. Well, what else do we say? Jack Reeve, currently running in 5th place. Field very spread out now. If we show you on our track map, it's a very even spread, which is not what we're used to seeing. The top 6 are separated at the moment by about 18 seconds, but top 2 are separated by 9. So there are still points of it that are quite close, but it will change at the end of the day. The drivers will catch up to one another. People will make further mistakes. There'll be pit stops and all sorts to shake it up even more. But we look at Jack Reeve as the biggest mover in the field, and I hate to say I told you so, but he was going to be moving up the order quickly. Maybe just a little bit more quickly than we expected, thanks to that incident.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly did accelerate things, and, well, still not too bad, is it, for cross-development? Team, like we said, another team with actually a pretty strong lineup. It's just obviously about trying to maximise it through the course of a season and avoiding the incidents, which Jack Reeve did an excellent job doing. Speaking of incidents, we've got Fabio Grassetto here.
Yeah, I just want to keep looking back at this. I mean, it's it's a crazy, crazy incident. You'll see it happen. I mean, a great start by Fabio. Look at that. Jumps ahead of his teammate, but sort of puts himself in the line of fire. Laughs all the way to the bank with the incident happening there. Then all of a sudden, Aaron's just slow on the inside. He tries to get that overlap, but the wheel-to-wheel contact just launches him through the air. And he has carried on, but he's down in 13th position now, is Fabio. And he's got 3 seconds to Francois Brandet ahead of him, and then 9 seconds to Jack Werrell behind. Jack Werrell and David Whitehouse, the team at Darrington Francis, both had such a promising grid position, didn't they, as a team? But now, unfortunately, that has not paid off with, well, 2 slight misjudgments from both of them, I think, because Jack went to the middle of the circuit, made the contact with Lennart Schneebel, and then David just understeered a little bit too hot into turn 1 and made the contact with the driver that was also on the front row with him, Ben Chalcraft.
Yeah, so now it does come down to Flaxen Sport, who are the best team at the moment. Sam Fitzpatrick leading the way. Martin Kenyon outside the podium, but only barely in 4th place. And I think Martin was another driver that we mentioned had that moment earlier on in the evening in qualifying that put him sort of down the order out of where he necessarily thought his pace would put him. And, well, his pace is certainly putting him up into 3rd place now as he makes a move on Stuart Clark. Yeah, he wasn't far behind that podium place, and well, he's just at the end of the sentence taking it away from Stuart now.
Yeah, the DNA Motorsport car getting demoted, but he's trying to fight back here. He's still putting Martin under a bit of pressure, but yeah, 2 Flaxen Sport cars in the top 3, and they'll be over the moon with that. Very solid stuff by both of them. Stuart Clark is now in 4th with Jack Reeve in 5th. Jack will want to get past these guys, and he has an opportunity here to do something absolutely magical, does Jack, from his starting position to be, well, in with a shout of a podium. It's pretty immense. I mean, I know that the incident contributed 90% of that, but, you know, you've got to be in it to win it at the end of the day, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily just down to saying, oh, the drivers are only there because they avoided the accident. Avoiding incidents is a skill in and of itself, and it's something that's so desperately underappreciated in racing in general, not just in sim racing. It's Jack Reeves' lovely little move to the inside there to get ahead of Stuart Clark. Of course, the driver now up into 4th place, but back to the point we were saying earlier, it's all about the awareness of the drivers, isn't it, in sort of predicting if there is an incident, where the cars are going to be, not where they are right now. And you've got to sort of always do all of these calculations of where you are, where you're going to be, where those cars are, where the momentum is going to be, if there's going to be any extra contacts that may move them around. You need to do all of that in a split second. So the drivers that got through those incidents, sure, some of it's obviously good fortune, but a lot of it is also down to the awareness and the calculations that go in those split second moments that not even necessarily you even think about consciously as a driver.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than meets the eye, isn't there? In these situations, as Grassetto screams up to the back of Francois Brandet's machine. That was very close on the brakes there. I think Francois just saying, yeah, go on, mate, I'm not messing with that. I think Fabio, much like we saw at Manicourt, struggled to sort of compensate for the car in front slowing down sooner rather than later. I mean, that's what caused the incident at Manicourt. That's what also caused his incident at turn 1 in this very race, actually, is that he didn't realise they were slowing down in front of him. And now Francois in 13th place. He's on his way to his first points of the season, touch wood. Like I say, before tonight, he hadn't had a single classified finish. He had a 23rd in the first race at Navarra, but he was only classified as finishing because he was, I think, 1 lap off the lead or something like that. So he didn't, unfortunately for him, didn't finish the race. Here is Martin Kenyon. Jack Reeve now behind him, wanting to take that podium place away. Hopefully Chris Humphreys doesn't cause too much of an issue for these guys here. He's hoping to get out of the way. Through turn 2 they go, and the Spontex CDM Esports car still there as well, and now he needs to get out of it for Jack to go around the outside through the Lucien Bianchi box. Martin Kenyon won't be writing Chris a Christmas card, I can tell you that for free. Now Jack looking menacing down towards the chicane. I don't think he's going to go for it from there, no. He'll probably set this up for the Villeneuve chicane, won't we, Ed? Or he'll try.
Yeah, he's going to try, but not quite get that run that he was hoping for. It's going to be a great little tussle, I think, between Kenyon and Reeve. Kenyon with a really good result that he's going to try and fight for, not just for himself, but also for the Flaxton Sport team. Running a little bit wide, though, of the mark there, not quite getting that rotation, and that's going to set him vulnerable for the hairpin. Leaves too much on the inside. Jack Reeves senses the car's width, goes for it, but now, with the run out of the corner, he's going to really have to fight all the way around the outside at the first part of this final chicane.
Jack tries to squeeze him.
By Kenyon, and he's going to park it on the exit as well to try and prevent a cutback. Jack Reeves, though, again, he's going to sense a move potentially up the inside. Is Kenyon going to cover it off? Not quite, and that's all the invitation that Jack Reeves needs, but while slamming it late is Kenyon. The door shut firmly in Reeves' face, and well done to avoid any contact for the pair of them.
Chris Humphries there was parking it on the apex in front of Stuart Clark and Ben Chalcraft as well. I think he needs reminding what the blue flags mean. But Martin Kenyon still holding on to this place now ahead of Jack Reeve. I think Jack has actually got a little bit of nose damage from being so close to the back of Martin's car. This is very feisty stuff from the two of them. I mean, if you were Martin, you'd probably think, yeah, just let him go for now. We're nearly at the halfway point of the race. But you know what? Fair play to Martin for his stubbornness in this one. Jack is absolutely climbing around all over the back of that yellow machine, but he's still not letting him have it, and he can't get the run out of the important corners because he's that close.
Yeah, he just has to sort of almost back up just a touch going into those corners to try and get the run out. He's got the confidence to know that he's got the paces. Oh, well, after all of that fighting, it just seems to be handed to him as Martin Kenyon makes a mistake and drops down from third all the way down to sixth, and it looks like it could be a hardware issue. It's just not going.
Oh no, what is that for Martin Kenyon? That's devastating stuff. Absolutely devastating. On for such a strong result here in third position. Let's listen. Yeah, just the throttle just doesn't give him anything. There's just nothing at all. Oh, that is so heartbreaking for Martin Kenyon. He's been able to get it going again. He's entered the pit lane and he's under throttle. You can hear it. So he's still at least able to get in the pits. But that is nightmare fuel for Kenyon. His teammate Sam Fitzpatrick, he's miles out in front. 11 seconds clear at the moment is Sam. It's not the way he would have wanted to win a race if he goes on to win this. But at the end of the day, as I've said, you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you?
Yeah. 100%, and it just seems like, again, hardware issues that are plaguing Martin Kenyon right now. It's a crying shame, but he seems to have gotten it working again. Down in 13th as Martin, so that's great to see, isn't it, Jazz, that he's able to get it up and rolling.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, interestingly, is that is his mandatory pit stop now done for the evening. So, while he did lose quite a lot of time, he'll hopefully gain some positions back when all of those around him and in front of him need to make their pit stops.
Yeah, fingers crossed that he can still make it work. Fabio Grassetto there just ahead of John Tusting. He just got around him in the first sector. Both of them have pitted once so far this race, but both of them pitted on lap 1. We've had Ben Chalcraft and Martin Kenyon both pit on lap 12. So Ben is the highest placed of those that has pitted in a reasonable window so far. He's just behind Francois Brandet on the circuit. But further up, it's quite spread out here. We've got 10 seconds from Danny Weir up to Stuart Clark. Danny running in 5th place overall, which is very fitting considering the team that he drives for at EMKA Racing. Both cars are either number 5 or 55, and yeah, they were on 5 points in the championship in 5th as well, and now they're 5th here. A bit of a moment, unfortunately, for Ben Chalcraft. For Francois Brandet, who has lost a place to Ben Chalcraft.
And Chalcraft just going into the chicane and drill up in front of him. Well, he's not going to find any easier overtakes this evening, I don't think.
No, definitely not. A little bit too hot into there. And now, race leader into the pit lane to make his mandatory stop. He's just letting it get past the halfway point, and then he's going to fill it up. It's very, very slow pit lane speed though in these cars. Fretwell, Reeve, Clark, they're all coming in. Sam actually going up on the jacks as well. Probably just knows he's got the spare time to take tyres. Straight back out though. 7.3 second stop. What about Alex Fretwell from second position? No tyres for him. Saves him about a second and a bit. 1.3 seconds. Jack Reeve also not going up on the jacks. Interestingly, Fraser Smith has carried on here. He pitted on lap 1. So it's very likely that he'll need to pit again. Although, to be fair, they are limited to 50%, which is 20 litres. So, yeah, they can do about half an hour on the fuel. So, with it being a 40-minute race, I do doubt that Fraser will go all the way to the end. But I'm open to being surprised.
Yeah, we saw it last time at Manny Core that drivers that came on lap 3 or 4 were able to make it till the end. But I think going in on lap 1, it's going to be a little bit too much to ask from these drivers that all got involved in the open lap. It would be impressive if any of them can make it, but I just can't see it.
No, I think it's going to be, it's going to be a tough ask, and at the end of the day, it would be quite the loophole in the rules if they can make it all the way to the end. Fretwell and Zemstra fighting together. Zemstra has pitted, but on the first lap, as he was involved in the incident. Fretwell isn't realistically racing him at this point, but we know that Kevin's not going to give up at the end of the day. He's still going to push and do his very best. They now head down towards the Jackie Ixbocht, the chicane at the end. I was wondering if Kevin was going to go straight in and into the pits, but to be honest, if you're one of the drivers that pitted on lap 1, you just run it to the end as far as you can, don't you?
Yeah, you just hope for the best and see where it takes you. That's, I think, all of the drivers that what they can do. But Niles here, car racing driver, running towards the first of the chicanes here, running a little bit wider. The first apex, hitting the second one a bit too hard, and again, when the car jumps up, it comes back down pretty harshly and sends him into a spin.
Alex Fretwell then trying to hold on to this podium place. It's easier said than done in the bigger picture, but obviously right now there's a lot of pressure from behind with Kevin Zemstra chasing him down as the two of them take differing lines, to say the least, and Zemstra gets a slowdown penalty, so that's going to help out Fretwell and certainly free up his rear view mirrors. Aaron Smith is the only car that actually started this race in the position that he currently is in 5th place, which is amazing considering that he was involved in that incident. But again, a few drivers still need to pit around him, including himself as well. 16 laps at the moment here at Zolder. Sam Fitzpatrick is just about to go on to the 17th of them with 16.5 minutes left to go of this race. A race that has been blown wide open by major incident at the start. 2 major incidents as well. There was Jack Werrell and Leonard Schneebel coming together. They then got caught up with Simon Price and also Lee Aberdeen. And then there was the contact at the front between David Whitehouse and Ben Chalcraft. And then involved in that was Fabio Grassetto, Aaron Smith, Matt Hoyland, Fraser Smith, Kevin Zemstra. So many drivers involved, and more than half of the field was in the pits at the end of lap 1. Any other series, it would have been a red flag and we would have had to go again. But yeah, it's quite crazy, isn't it, that something like that has blown it so wide open here, Ed?
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what the championship sort of will look like after the racing has been done. It's going to be very exciting going into the remaining rounds of the season, with, I think, the status quo certainly being shifted around after tonight, it's fair to say. Fraser Smith going well, though, up in 2nd place. Obviously, he is one of the drivers involved in that earlier lap 1 incident rather. But his lap times are looking very impressive. That last time around, he was that 9/10 of a second faster than Sam Fitzpatrick. We'll see what it will be like this time around.
Fastest man on track by some distance as well. So last time Sam did a 1:25.6, Fraser 1:25.3, so continuing to close that gap to the front. I'm interested to see how that pays off in the long run here.
Yeah, and it could obviously be brilliant for Fraser Smith here, as long as he's able to make it till the end of the race. But from the lap times that I'm seeing, from how hard he's pushing, I imagine that he's likely not really doing any management, knows that the fuel savings not going to work, so instead he's just going to push hard right up until the very end of the racing here tonight. 15 minutes remain, and well, we're going to see if what's going on between Martin Kenyon mainly, and then the car ahead of him, that's Lennart Schneebel. Driving up the inside goes Martin, tries to make the overtake, but just can't quite get the run, and Schneebel is able to hang on just for now to that 12th place. He's going to fight back though, isn't he? All the way up on the inside, and I thought he was going to break himself, but actually backed out of it, realised wasn't quite going to be able to pull that move off, or at least on that attempt.
Yeah, he unfortunately had a slowdown penalty, so that's what put him into that fight, and he sort of gradually backed up to Lennart Schneebel. Lennart got through, and then Martin made a good fight back. Stuart Clark has been going a little bit slower than these guys on the last couple of laps. He did a 126.8 last time. The guys behind doing 126.6s. And John Tustig now wearing his Jarno Trulli helmet right up behind the DNA Motorsport car. But he's then got Ben Chalcraft behind him, so he can't sit and wait. Lee Aberdeen is behind them as well, wanting to unlap himself. Lee currently running down in 20th position. Jack Werrell has just been off the road. He recovers to the circuit again. No damage by the look of it. Here is Lee Aberdeen, and oh dearie me, my good friend Zauer has just popped in. Zauer, a massive supporter of Chaz Draycott Media, and very often the man to give out memberships in my Tower Simulator 3 streams, but he's just popped in to lob some memberships in now during this race. Thank you very much, Zauer. 10 Chaz Draycott Media memberships given out during this stream as Chris Humphreys gets lapped by these guys. John Tusting and Ben Chalcraft on his right. And look at Lee Aberdeen there, taking the opportunistic moments to come through. Chris not really helping anybody there, to be honest, and now he's in the way of Ben Chalcraft. And look at that, look at the amount of time that he's cost Ben there. We're going to have a word. And he's still not getting out of the way. Ben is, going to be very, very frustrated at this. And Chris is a marshal, so he should know better. But yeah, he won't have made many friends in this. He's still not getting out of the way. Ben will be punching his wheel in disbelief at this. Incredible.
Brilliant. I mean, that's another thing that's actually given us some excellent storylines, isn't it? Is that opening lap incident, is all the drivers out of where we're used to seeing them. It's likes of a few drivers scoring what could be some very strong points for their championship as well. Let's not forget we've got Stuart Clark for DNA Motorsport. I think that would be on track for his best finish so far. Memory serves right, with all those ahead of him still needing to pit.
Yes, yeah, his best is 9th so far.
Very strong. He's got John Tusting though right in behind him for Mirage Sport. We're to try and keep him at bay for now. And also John, another driver that came in on lap 1. But he also need an extra pit stop before the race is run yet.
You can hear him lifting, can't you, as well? He's not trying too hard to get past Stuart Clark here. He knows what the fight is. He knows what the bigger picture is. 2.6 seconds Ben Chalcraft lost on that last lap to these guys. He's lost a bucket load of time. John, well, I'll tell you what, actually, I was talking about bigger picture. He sent it up the inside as Mr. Tustig. He says, have one of them down at Boulderberg Box, I should say. Sorry, it's not even that. It's Boulderberg Spalenbocht now, I believe. It's an even longer name. Stuart Clark comes back at him, tries to get around the outside, into the Jackie X-Box. Nothing doing there. John Tusting says, thank you, I'm going to keep my Mirage car in front of you. It is no Mirage this time, as Alex Fretwell now having to defend from the other Mirage car. He was wishing that Kevin Zemstra was a Mirage, but he's definitely not. It'd be great if he was a Mirage 2000, but he's not. Right now, side by side, while I reminisce about military aircraft, Alex Fretwell down the inside at the first part of the chicane. Can Kevin get the run on the exit? They're going to be right together as they go under the bridge. Kevin's going to try and go all the way around to the right. And now he goes all the way to the left. He's going to be on the outside for the first part of the chicane. Inside for the second part. Alex went very far over to the left there to tell him no. And well, Kevin will be a little bit annoyed at that one and having to work at it once again. But yeah, I think Kevin knows that he's going to have to come into the pits again before the end of this race, so he's proving the point and just getting stuck in while he can.
Definitely. I mean, it's still great though, isn't it, to see that Alex is going to be willing to fight and not allowing Kevin through just because he is faster and involved in that lap one incident. Really having to work for it is Kevin. Still, actually, from where Kevin started the race, he's actually up 5 places, even despite all of the incidents and accidents. Fraser Smith, meanwhile, is up 8 places from where he started, the latest esports driver. Still potentially on for a good finish, even if he does have to pit. He won't spend that full length of time in the pits that we usually see. It'll just be a quick splash and then a dash. So for him, it would probably put him, just looking at the gaps to the cars behind, where would you reckon, Chaz? Maybe 8th? Just around about the John Tusting, Stuart Clark fight?
Yeah, it's highly likely he'll still be in the top 10. Oh no, Whoa. Kevin Zemstra. Zemstra kisses the wall as well, has a moment, loses a spot to Aaron Smith, who goes through. Is Zemstra damaged? Is it black and orange flag worthy? No, he's not got a black and orange flag, but just that little moment is all it takes in these cars, and that could have been race ending. He did a great job to keep it from hitting the wall harder.
Yeah, he's slowed down a lot on the gravel. Obviously, the iRacing gravel traps now do a better job of arresting the momentum of the cars. Still had a decent amount of speed, though, wasn't he, when he hit the barrier? Luckily, it was one of the sort of more forgiving barriers on iRacing. Those tyre walls do not tend to damage your car as much as, say, the Armco or the concrete.
Philip Miles has unfortunately had his final bout with the barrier. Oh, I think he got hit. Oh, I think he got hit there by Lee Aberdeen. I think Lee went into the back of him, not expecting him to go that slowly. I did wonder. Let's have a look. So Philip has an issue. He loses it, and then I think he slams on the brakes to save it. And Lee puts him in the wall. Not expecting him to slow down that much. That is devastating for Philip Miles. He will be a little bit miffed at that one. Aaron Smith is now up into 4th place, but he's another one that pitted on the first lap of this race. It's a very topsy-turvy race, this. Feels like there's nobody anywhere because it's all so spread out, but we still do have 19 cars running. Lee Aberdeen back in the pits. And he's missed his box as well. Gets it fixed and gets back out. You have to admire Lee's persistence. He doesn't give up, bless him. He's a real trooper. And you have to admire that. I really don't like it when, it's easier for me to say from up here, but I don't like it when the drivers have one incident and they just give up. You know what I mean? I know Mr. Hoyland wasn't too pleased with his incident earlier on. That wasn't a jab at him. He's out of the race after his first lap incident. But, you do see it a lot where there's only something light happens and drivers give up on the spot. And it's a shame to see. But, yeah, it's great to see that persistence on the other side of the scale from Lee Aberdeen. Ben Chalcraft now, right up behind fellow pretty blue and white car of Stuart Clark, the DNA Motorsport machine. Ben looking really confident in this car this season, isn't he? I mean, we were teammates with him in the Sim Racing... No, it wasn't the Sim Racing magazine. It was the Evolution Sim Racing GT4 Championship. Ben carried us to a 5th place in the Teams Championship. But he seems really confident in this car, in this series, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Oh, as we say that...
Hello.
that was your turn to have the curse of the commentator.
Sorry, Ben.
As Ben is maybe getting a little bit flustered from all the compliments he's been receiving.
His ears are burning.
Needs to try and needs to keep his feet on the ground, so to speak. And
as long as he does a better job than me, because I've currently got a broken toe because I slipped over in the kitchen. Moral of the story is don't mop your floor, everybody.
Get a Hoover out, that'll be fine. That's all you need, right?
Be right. But no, long story short, I'll tell you in a minute actually. Aaron Smith round the outside of Alex Fretwell. Big send. Francois Brandet and Jack Werrell get simultaneous black flags. What is going on, gentlemen? And that is right in front of our race leader, Sam Fitzpatrick. What was that about? What on earth was this? Oh, this is... I mean, that's just not on, boys. I don't know if there was any befores and afters. We'll go a little bit further back. I mean, Jack goes... Francois puts the car in the middle. Jack goes over to the left. Francois blocks him. Jack says, go on then. And they're very slow on the apex. Francois almost brake checking him there, and it just doesn't go anywhere. And then the contact afterwards is just...
Like, I'm not sure if there's... It's very light contact, if there is any contact. And then, yeah, it's just seemingly... Oh, hang about. That's close, isn't it, between Aaron Smith and Alex Fretwell?
Very scary stuff, that. Wow.
Scary, especially through that chicane. It's so easy to misjudge it, have little bits of contact, and in these cars, with how sensitive they are and the speeds they go at, any small contact, big accident. So thankful that there wasn't any of that to worry about. They were able to keep it going relatively cleanly. Now though, Aaron Smith, third place for him, and of course DNA Motorsport. Alex Fretwell will be hoping the likes of Fraser Smith, Aaron Smith just ahead of him will need to pit again before the end of the race. We are running out of time though, aren't we? Only 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Very, very strange. As Zemstra having a spin. And he has a very big old spin. Yeah, we've got some interesting drives through the pack here. We've got a number of drivers: Fraser Smith, Aaron Smith, Kevin Zemstra, Fabio Grassetto, John Tusting, Leonard Schneebel, all drivers that only pitted on lap 1 after their incident. And they are, only 2 laps from making it to the end. How on earth have they figured that one out?
Yeah. No idea. I mean, we've also got to look at Smith and Fitzpatrick then, because that gap has been coming down. We thought it wouldn't necessarily be a factor just because of obviously Fraser Smith, Aaron Smith both involved in that lap 1 incident, but now it could be on for the lead of the race. We may have misjudged this, Chaz, and they may be able to make it till the end of this race, because right now Fraser is bearing down on Sam up ahead.
Yeah,
absolutely have 2 laps over the line. The traffic's not going to help him.
Caught behind Chris Humphries. Oh, he's really not going to help him. Come on, Chris. He's going to give him slipstream down the straight. That'll be nice, but yeah, he needs to get out of it, and Fraser Smith wants to go chasing. 2 minutes to go. This is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. The cars are limited in terms of their fuel. They're limited to 50%. Or at least the setup. Now, here's an interesting one. So the setup starts with 50% in. But are they able then to fill enough up to make it the full distance? Because it's a trade-off for having an accident at least, so it still gives them a way in. Similar to what we had in Formula 1, where we gave the cars so much fuel that they couldn't make it to the end of a full race. But if they did have an accident on the first lap, they could fill it up and still have a chance. So it seems like that's how this has worked out here.
Yeah,
Fraser Smith
like
going well in second.
Yeah, brilliant for Fraser. Get the white flag this time by. Obviously, traffic played a part. It would have been tough for Fraser regardless to have caught and then also overtaken in, well, the short space of time that he had left to do so. Still, what a cracking drive from himself, and I hope to see if that's going to help him out massively in the championship as well, with the likes of Sam Fitzpatrick gaining a huge amount here tonight. Let's not forget he was way up there in the order in the first race, certainly in the second one as well. But Fraser Smith, the victory first race, second place in the second. Very impressive stuff from him.
And yeah, we've had Philip Miles in the chat has confirmed it that is the case. So if they do have the trade-off of having an incident on the first lap, they can obviously pit and then go all the way to the end and put enough fuel in to get that distance. So I suppose it works out, but yeah, Fraser was able to use that to his advantage and has since been able to crack on in second position. Fantastic stuff. But Sam Fitzpatrick currently leading this race with less than half a lap to go. He's only had one podium finish so far this season. And he's going to be able to make it all the way through tonight without a major incident. He had a very big and busy time in the sprint race earlier on, but what a drive this has been, Ed. He's not had to do too much defending, but he nearly came to it.
Yeah, he nearly did, but Sam Fitzpatrick, he had a relatively lonely race out in front, but he won't mind one bit as he's going to take the feature race victory, get a little wiggle on the exit as well.
Yes.
He's absolutely loving it.
Sam Fitzpatrick wins the feature race here at Zolder. Fraser Smith, a great second place. Aaron Smith, a great third place as well. Two guys that were involved in the incident at the start of this race. They made it work to the end. A lovely drive back through the order. Alex Fretwell in fourth place. Jack Reeve is going to finish in fifth. I hate to say I told you so again, but he was ready to come back through the order from the very beginning. Kevin Zemstra finishes in sixth. Fabio Grassetto finishes in seventh place. John Tusting, what a drive from him. He's going to come across the line in car 9. Oh, I was going to say car 9P9, but he's actually going to be in eighth place. 11 spots gained for Monsieur Tusting here tonight, and doesn't he deserve that? John is such a lovely bloke and such a good laugh. Very well done. Stuart Clark, his equal best result of the season, ahead of Ben Chalcraft in 10th. Behind them, Lennart Schneebel, a busy second race for him tonight, means that he loses 7 places from where he started. Danny Weir and David Whitehouse. Oh no, these two have come together right at the end. Kenyon is going to be wondering what might have been. Lee Aberdeen outside of the points in that race and in both races tonight. Devastating for Lee. He is not going to want to remember this one in a hurry. But we have Whitehouse across the line in the lightweight version, the even more lightweight version of his car, finishing in 14th. A black flag for him at the end as well. Sam Fitzpatrick, well, he's already finished an entire lap and come back in. Fraser Smith second. What a night for Fraser in terms of points. Let's have a look at the results. Sam Fitzpatrick wins, 30 points to his name. Fraser Smith, what a night for him. Aaron Smith in third position gets another podium to his name. Fretwell finishes fourth and Jack Reeve in fifth. Those two will be pleased with that. Kevin Zemstra finishes ahead of Fabio Grassetto. The Italians had a great night bouncing back from Manicourt. John Tusting finishes 8th ahead of Stuart Clark, and Ben Chalcraft gets another top 10. Lennart Schneebel finishes 11th ahead of Martin Kenyon 12th. Danny Weir is 13th for EMKA ahead of David Whitehouse, and Connor Hatfield gets a championship point. Lee Aberdeen just outside the points ahead of Chris Humphreys and Francois Brandet. Jack Werrell was also out of the race, so too Philip Miles, Simon Price and Matt Hoyland. Well, dearie me, Ed, that was quite the race. We'll go back to where it all started, and we will obviously cue the music and we'll speak to some drivers about that. But what a unique race this early on in the season as well.
Yeah, it could be a big pendulum shift in the championship as well, with so many front runners, not the least Lee Aberdeen having a torrid time and giving a chance for other drivers to try and catch up.
100%. We'll have to have a chat and see who we can speak to. I tell you what, it'd be great to speak to the man that's probably, and I say probably because we're not doing the provisional points because our graphics are broken. But Fraser Smith, you will probably lead the championship after tonight, mate. You'll be pretty buzzing, I imagine, because that certainly, fell into your lap a little bit in that second race.
I was not expecting that. I don't know what happened because my replay won't go back far enough, but coming down the start straight, I had to slam on, and then I went really tight in the first corner. I think I got collected when someone span, but I'm really happy I worked out my fuel number before the race. So I came in, put the fuel in, and just went for it. And I don't think I really saw another car, to be honest. It worked out quite well because I know Kevin people came out of the pits just in front of him, so it worked out well.
Yeah, definitely, and obviously getting back into the right space on track, but it's not even a track that's easy to overtake at, is it, Zolder? It's a tricky one, to say the least.
Yeah, it really is, and in the first race I was really lucky. I could see they were going side by side, and I just thought there's no point getting involved. I just held back, and just as soon as there was a gap I went, so I'm happy. I didn't expect to get that sort of points today.
Well, obviously a much-needed win, and obviously a long-time coming win, it's safe to say. But we go to Zandvoort next time out. What are your feelings about going there?
Should be really good in this car. I haven't driven around there for ages, but it's a fun track. So it's hard to overtake there as well. So we'll see.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you, Fraser. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
I know my dad's watching, so shout out to him. Shout out to Grace, a couple of my mates are watching, and yourself for organising it. It's great.
Well, thank you very much. A pleasure to have you. And yeah, best of luck at Zandvoort, and we'll see you there.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Fraser Smith coming away from this one tonight, Ed, with loads of points in his back pocket. He'll be, well, like I say, very pleased. He wasn't expecting it, but they're the best nights, aren't they, when you don't expect it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be big for his championship, obviously. A shame that his teammate wasn't quite up there with him in terms of what Blade Speed would have been hoping for as an entity coming into this round, hoping to try and extend their championship lead. But I don't think that will be the case. It's been, well, a very topsy-turvy race evening, hasn't it?
Absolutely has, yeah. Really, really topsy-turvy. Another one that we could bring in will be, well, who else but Race 2 winner? Mr. Fitzpatrick. I know that, and I said this during the race, that it's probably not the way you would have wanted to have won the race, but you still had to work hard for that one, didn't you?
I mean, I don't care how they come, to be fair, with, how the wins come. I'll take it every day of the week. Yeah, it was an unusual race win. Awful start as well, so it was crazy that I ended up in the position I was in. But yeah, no one else went through T1. And then, I don't know if there were some other issues on lap 1, but yeah, I was all by myself. And then, yeah, pretty much at that point, I knew I pretty much had it in the bag, albeit sort of in the back of my mind knew, maybe, Aaron or something were only 10 seconds behind going into the pits, and maybe they'll, come from nowhere and challenge me near the end. But yeah, sort of kept my head, tried to stay fairly focused, and yeah, it was quite comfortable.
Well, it certainly looked like a busy circuit for these cars once again. We know that it's a loose little machine. It's very it's a very tricky little car. But what was it like driving it around Zolder tonight, avoiding them curbs?
It was all right. Like, of course, I think it helps out with being to Zolder recently, obviously in Formula 1. I think I've done quite a few laps around this circuit in the past. It's got quite a nice flow to it. Yeah, race 1, obviously when you're following other cars, it's quite tricky to sort of keep your line and not to get slightly misjudge and have your line sort of blinded by the car ahead. Race 2, I was playing it quite easy. But no, this circuit's got quite a nice flow to it once you get into it, and yeah, it was quite satisfying to drive, albeit always quite cautious towards the end, just scared of all the things that could go wrong. And of course it nearly did go wrong, but we survived anyway.
Absolutely, and we go next up to Zandvoort, a circuit that a lot of us enjoy and love. How are you feeling about going there?
Yeah, I mean, I did the Porsche GB series earlier on in the year, and I think I went to that circuit, and I was not exaggerating, 3/10 slower than the next slowest driver. That was a very competitive series. I'm not saying that this isn't competitive. This is obviously far better than Porsche GB. But that's sort of my pedigree there, so not particularly strong in that regard, but we'll see how we do. I didn't do a whole lot of practice for today. Hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more practice in for next time. And hope that no one can take T1 again, and I'll just do the same thing as what I did today.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you, Sam. Obviously a big boost in your championship. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go?
Well, thanks to my family who tune in for a lot of these races. So thank you to them. It is because of them actually that I'm going to miss the round in a couple of weeks' time. We're going to Centre Parks, which, I mean, this series is very fun, but it's not as fun as Centre Parks. So
No.
I couldn't really turn that one down. And of course, thanks to Apex Racing Simulators as well, because I'm using their rigs at the moment. So check out apexracingsim.com. If you're based in the East Midlands, near Corby in particular, then you can try out one of the rigs that I'm on at the moment. We also sell hardware and lots of other stuff, do team building days, so just check out apexracingsim.com for more details.
Well, thank you very much, Sam. Appreciate having you here, mate, and yeah, we'll speak to you very soon.
Of course, and thank you to you guys as well, obviously.
Thank you very much, mate. See you soon. Sam Fitzpatrick there. Great to see him back at the top. The reigning Formula 1 world champion certainly needed a win this season, didn't he, Ed, to sort of cement that?
Yeah, definitely. And it's still great to hear Sam Fitzpatrick back up on top. As well, like you say, we've definitely seen him up there and been almost used to seeing him up there fighting for race victories. He's got his first one out of the way, and now we'll see if that's going to open the floodgates.
You never know. Speaking of floodgates, I said to you that Jack Reeve would end up near the front of the order in this race. Not quite the way you expected to do it, but Jack, first off, congratulations on your top 5 in the feature race. What was it like starting from the back and watching all of that?
Wow, I mean, yeah, first of all, thank you guys very much. Went into that race looking for a top 15, and then whatever just unfolded in front of me, just saying to everyone in the chat, it feels like I was queuing up for the Dartford crossing on the M25. We all came to a standstill across the start-finish line there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it? But, you know, it's the thing with Formula cars, isn't it? They're very fickle things to race, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very fine knife edge, these cars. If you get the setup wrong, or if you just, it's so easy to lock a brake or run wide, so it's easily done.
Absolutely. What did you make of racing it around Zolder, though? Because it looked like it could either be a nightmare or good fun.
To be fair, I've really enjoyed it. My race pace was spot on. I was able to match everyone around me and get some good battles. I hope you guys enjoyed it a little bit. So I was pleasantly surprised. Went into it not very happy, but came out of it very happy. So
belter, absolute belter. And what about Zandvoort next week? Are you excited about that one?
I've never driven it on iRacing, so we're gonna have to get some practice in.
You're gonna have a lot of fun.
But it's a wicked track, just knowing it from other games, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, so are we, Jack. Is there anyone you'd like to give a thanks to while we've got you?
Yeah, just everyone. I think my family's downstairs watching, girlfriend's watching, and you guys for putting us on this great event. So thank you.
Always a pleasure, Jack. Great to see you as always, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you at Zandvoort. Have a good one.
Yes, we'll do. Thank you guys. See you next week.
Jack Reeve there with a solid second race of the night, Ed, and at the end of the day, that's the one where you want to score the points, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where all the big points are scored. We've seen it so far this season that those drivers that tend to win the feature often benefit a lot in the overall standings, regardless of what happens in the sprint round. So it's going to be intriguing, I think, now as we, say goodbye to Zolder to, look ahead for the remainder of the season, isn't it, Chaz? It's been, topsy-turvy, as often Zolder tends to be. Well, what a race even it was. Certainly didn't disappoint coming into it.
Absolutely, a very unique one indeed here in the Formula CDM European Series. We hope you've all enjoyed the entertainment here tonight on Chaz Draycott Media. Don't forget, we'll be back in just a week's time when we go to Zandvoort for round 4 of the championship. The stewards will be busy for this one, so make sure you join us there to find out about any updates or any penalties or any changes to the results from here tonight. But as for now, thank you once again to all the drivers. Thanks again, Ed May, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you in a week. Have a good one.
Yeah.